Okay, this last word I want to make sure I get off for you guys is small testimonies. I have to remember in my walk to be obedient and not to just give you the big testimony, me overcoming my addiction, him breaking free those chains, but I have to remember to let you guys know of the small testimonies as well, because those speak volumes. And Revelation 12:11 tells us that we overcome the enemy not just by the blood of the Lamb, which is the most important part, but also by the word of our testimonies. And so I want to make sure I'm staying true to that as well. And so just a little bit of catch up of where life has us right now. I recently, in the last few months, I had a job that was very much, I won't get into the daunting details, but I was put in a place where I could no longer handle my job. It was just so detrimental, like to the part to where it was impacting my spirit. It was impacting me mentally, physically. And when I was of the world, financial stability like I had would have been like my main driver. It would have been what I held on to. And I got to a place in that job where I really had to cry out to the Lord, and I had to talk to him, and I had to tussle with it for a while of like, I don't know how much more of this I can bear, I can handle. And I finally got confirmation that he is my provider. He is Jehovah Jireh, right? And he gave me confirmation to be obedient and to leave said job. And normally my heart, my feelings, if I were leaning on my own understandings, I would not have been able to do that. I'm going to be honest, with how much financial stability that job gave me and my family, I would have just taken the abuse that I was going through at the job and stayed there because the money and the benefits and the pension and everything else. And it got to a point where he was like, you know who I am. I'm Jehovah Jireh. And when I tell you to leave something, I am your provider. You need to listen to me. And so I walked out on faith. I walked out on full, a place I've never been. I've never been in that place where I've fully leaned on him to be my provider and to fulfill and sustain me in all the ways, right? And so walked out on faith. My husband, little backstory, he has a moving company, and so we're at the will of his customers when his customers need to be moved, when he gets new jobs booked. It's an amazing company, but sometimes seasons are slower than others, so it really just depends on where the need is of his customers. And so a lot of the times we're at mercy of those jobs being booked. Well, long story short, I walked out on faith. It allowed me to be able to, I was already homeschooling my children, which I'm going to be honest was a lot, working full time, helping my husband run the company, and homeschooling our children was a lot. But it allowed me to be able to pour even more into my children, steward over them better, not only teach them from like a school standpoint, but a biblical standpoint. It's so important that we're pouring into our children his word. It says, train them up in the way that you want them to go. And when they get older, they will not depart from those ways, right? So I didn't get to do these things with my older daughter. I often tell her that I'm so sorry that my younger children get a version of me now that she didn't get to get when she was of that age. And that's something that I am often apologetic for, and she's just so sweet. But she gives me way more grace than I deserve. But yeah, so I'm able to do those things with my younger children that I didn't get to do with my oldest daughter. And pouring into them, homeschooling them, has been amazing. The things that saying yes to him and being obedient and walking out on faith from that financial stability that he has poured into my home, I don't have enough words for. Like, so essentially I'm saying all this to say, be obedient and listen to what he's telling you. Surrender everything to him. If you're having a problem, a burden, a worry, take it to him. Wait for his confirmation. He will confirm. He will tell you what he wants to do. Sometimes we have to understand our timing is not his timing, and sometimes we don't hear from him right away, but he will answer and he will tell you what to do. But we have seen him move in ways, you guys, that I literally can't even describe. For instance, we'll have there'll be a certain bill that is due, and my husband will get the perfect job or set of jobs that booked at the very last minute, right? So it truly is requiring us to stay firm in our faith, and to remember He is Jehovah Jireh, and He will provide. He will give us everything we need. The Bible says that He watches over every sparrow. He knows what the birds of the air don't, go and gather all this food, and no, and He still provides for them. So He will provide everything you need, even to the, like, I've thought about, like, should I go and look into public assistance or these things? And He's like, no, I got you. And when I tell you, He has showed up and showed out. We don't lack for anything. We have all the food we need. We have an amazing roof over our head, and our rent is hefty, you guys. It's expensive. Our bills are expensive. And when I tell you that He lines up every job and opportunity to the T of exactly when it's due and exactly when it's needed. And this, I just want to make sure I'm testifying to the fact that being obedient and having faith that He will provide and He will fulfill every need that you have, but you truly do have to, it does take some walking out on faith, and it does make sure that your eyes are off of this world. It has taken my husband and I to really be in the Word every day, spend as much time in God's presence as we can. We worship as much in our house each day as we can. We're not just like opening our Bible once a week or going to church once a week. We are with Him every day as much as we can. I end every night in my prayer closet just for as long as I don't want to leave. Sometimes I'll look and I'll be like, oh, it's 1, 2, 3 in the morning, and I'm just sitting in His presence, and He is fulfilling me and giving me so much peace and comfort that can only come from Him. I see the things that are going on in this world, the distractions they're giving us, all the things that would normally stress someone out. I used to have anxiety. I used to give myself that title, and now I don't title myself with that, because I am a child of God. I am a follower of Christ, and I make sure that I find my identity in that. But I say that to let you know that I used to be someone riddled with anxiety, and He has given me a peace and a comfort that truly does surpass all understanding. And so this is just a reminder of He will show up and show out for you in ways that are supernatural. I've seen it happen. I've seen, us have dollars in our bank account, and the next week have thousands of dollars to pay everything that needs to be paid. Trust Him. Listen to what He's telling you to do. If He's urging you to do something, get confirmation and do what He's telling you to do. What is waiting on the other side of that yes? I have no words to describe. He is pouring a love into our home. He is transforming my children, my husband and I. I'm normally someone with such a dominant personality. He has literally brought me to be this submissive, meek. I'm really learning how to submit under my husband. And what speaks, sorry, I'm like all over the place because I have so many things I want to get out and say. Bear with me. But what I'm trying to say is, when we take a step back and we look at the biblical alignment, if you have, a significant other, wives, you really do need to be submitted under your husband. And that doesn't mean that he treats you any kind of way and he orders you around. Like, my husband loves me the way Christ loves the church. He is so gentle and so patient. He has poured a love in me, just like the love that I've seen, Christ pour into me and in our home. And so being submissive under the proper husband, who is himself properly submitted unto the Lord, it will do wonders for your home. And it has literally transformed my life. But I just had to share these little small testimonies, and really they're big testimonies. But I have to make sure, as we're going through this journey, I'm transparent with you all, and I'm sharing, what is happening in our home. And He is pouring a love in my home. He is pouring knowledge and wisdom, discernment and revelation in our home. At this hour, my children are understanding things that it took me multiple times of reading chapters. They're coming to me with these revelations of what they're reading in the Bible. My youngest two daughters, they literally just did their first 12-hour dry fast for Yom Kippur last week. Willingly, just the things that are being transformed in our home. I wanted to make sure I testified too, and I'm sorry this is long and a little rambly, but I just get so much joy, and it's hard for me to get it all out because it's hard to put it in words. What we have experienced has been supernatural, and it all started with me being obedient and me taking a step out on faith, and my husband the same, right? And us making sure that we're in our word every day, that we're staying repented and surrendered every day, that we're aligning ourselves under the biblical order in our home, that we're stewarding into our children, we're stewarding our home, all the things, you guys. But you don't have to know all these things when you start. You just give him your yes, and he will literally start transforming you from the inside out, and you'll just see new supernatural powers at work. It truly is magic. And so I had to share that. I'm sorry this one is a little longer, but I love you all, and I hope you guys have an amazing week. Bye.